Yes, ma'am?
Good afternoon, sir. Yung po sinabi niyo po kanina that the government is, or the president is committed to implement all agreement of the Bangsamoro, sir. Yung po bang CAB at saka yung tripartite ng MNLF at MILF, yung po ba yung magiging ma-approve na? Pag sinabi natin committed na yung presidente na i-approve yung lahat ng Bangsamoro Agreement, ito na bang CAB, wala na po siyang change at all?
Then, kailangan na mag-convert sila dahil i-input pa nila yung output ng tripartite review, i-input pa nila yung pertinent provisions ng CAB. Dahil may mga provisions doon na common nandyan na. At may provisions na nasa 9054 ARM law that probably are not addressed by both agreements, although I doubt very much kung mayroon pang gap doon. But the idea is to converge all these provisions together into one enabling law that will already establish and entrench the Bangsamoro governance unit to replace the present ARM natin, 9054.
Okay, Ben Teshorna from CNN.
Ben.
Sir, there's this scheduled meeting at Kuala
Yes.
over the weekend. What do we hope to achieve?
There is a meeting on August 13 in Kuala Lumpur. This is actually to launch the implementation stage of what we envision to be eventually a Bangsamoro enabling law. It is to implement the CAB that was signed between the government and the MILF that was not implemented because the BBL, the implementing mechanism, did not pass. But this will be the launching of an implementation stage that will not only exclusively be to implement the CAB, but also the agreements that we signed with the MNLF in the 1996 peace agreement, to include possibly the 42 consensus points as a result of the tripartite review. And other inputs that may come from all sectors coming from the Bangsamoro that may not have been considered by the two agreements. We will be discussing with the MILF panel how we are going to move forward. Also, we would like to formally brief the Malaysians on our roadmap under the Duterte administration. Remember, the Malaysians had contributed enormously in the negotiation stage. And so, therefore, we thought it fitting that we give them that due recognition for their contribution to our peace efforts by launching the implementation stage in Kuala Lumpur.
So, sir, we don't expect any formalities na.
Meron kaming business meetings after the formality of the launching. We will spend, I think, a day or two to already look at the details of what we intend to do together.
More questions? Ms. Carol Arquillas from In the News.
Ay, kuyaw na. Hindi ko na. Oh. Carol. Balo man na siya sa answer ba, pero mangutalan yun na siya. Sige, go ahead, bitaw.
Clarify lang.
Kumidya lang.
That Kuala Lumpur is really just between government and MILF.
It's the launching of, and we have invited our donor partners and foreign governments who are interested.
MNLF will not be represented in that piece.
The MLF, if they wish to come, they're free to come. It's open to everyone. But this is with regard to the implementation stage of the CAB.
I-clarify ko lang kasi that the other 2 days ago you told me it will not be called implementing panel but just GPH panel and MILF panel.
Correct,
But
correct.
now you're saying it's GPH implementing panel.
I think it's in your mind where the confusion lies. It's very clear that the government has organized its own government implementing panel. It's chaired by Inday Santiago. We expect that the MILF will also create its own implementing panel.
So it's not going to be joint anymore, right?
No. It started, the original plan was to hold it joint. But there was no fixed thing, We discussed this with you because we're very open. Initially, we thought of a joint, but then after meeting with Kagi Moran, we thought it best because if it is joint, then it will be an exclusive MILF GRP. But what about the MNLF? Because we're also dealing with them. So we're creating the government implementing panel to deal already with the MILF implementing panel. If the MNLF wishes to, they can also organize their implementing panel with whom we can deal with.
But the MNLF, as we all know, has several factions. So will there be separate panels for MNLF SEMA?
We don't know yet. We don't know yet. In fact, the first meeting we had was to explore a possibility that they can also resolve their internal factions in the MNLF. So it is still work in progress. Right now, we just formally met with them and got all the inputs coming from the SEMA group. And so we're still going to work on the other faction, which is Nur Miswari's group. But we cannot deal with him on a person-to-person basis unless we clear up yung kanyang legal constraints.
Last na lang, the President has repeatedly said in his campaign and even as President that he wants the historical injustices committed against the Bangsamoro corrected, right? So the Transitional Commission, TJRC, Justice Commission, already recommended the creation of a national TJRC on the Bangsamoro. But this was not implemented under the Aquino administration. How do the third administration set this up?
It's a recommendation. So right now we have not yet acted on that recommendation. But be sure that consistent with the position of the President, where he says we would like to address the historic injustice suffered by the Bangsamoro, then that commission can very well be the mechanism. But I'm not saying it now because we have yet to look at it very closely. The TJRC group had already submitted their closure report. And after we have already worked on all these other details on convergence, and as we move forward later on, we'd like to take a look at closely the recommendations made.
Thank you, Ms. Ruth Palo, Dumandan. And then,
okay, Secretary, since you had a meeting
Just give you the general, because I'm not at liberty to disclose, because these were done in close. There was a very in order to bring about an inclusive Bangsamoro enabling law. Yun ang pinaka-clear na commitment ng grupo nila.
Okay, sir, do you have timeline for the meetings at MNLF? And how soon is the meetings?
As soon as possible talaga yan. Hindi lang namin makausap pa directly personally si Chairman Nur Miswari because we still have to get that legal constraint cleared. But we are in touch with him. We're in touch with his group, and we're making discussions. But we need to sit down with him, person to person, to take this up in great detail. It will happen as soon as this issue about his facing a warrant of arrest is cleared or out of the way.
Lastly, Secretary, are we eyeing for possible reconciliation between factions now with MNLF leadership?
Oh, the reconciliation amongst the Bangsamoro is something for them to work out. They have to work it out among themselves, amongst these different factions. And that's the general message I gave to the group of Muslim and SEMA that met with me the whole morning. We recognize that there is a Nur Miswari group and there is a SEMA group. And we say, we all just have to leave it with you. in order to address these groupings within your own organization. But we would wish that they're able to resolve this.
Sir.
Ms. Ayan?
Sir, on another issue, it's barely 2 weeks to the scheduled resumption of peace talks with NDF. May we know the plans now after some undertones for the past days about the ultimatums of the president and yes, and some of the members of NDF.
The schedule stays the same with August 22 is the set date for the meeting with them in Oslo, Norway. So all preparations are towards this formal resumption of negotiations with CPP, NPA, and DF, and we're ready to take that trip to make that thing happen. So things are yung mga sinasabi yung mga incidents in between, as you know, traveling the peace road is not a well-paved road, and as I have said, there will be humps and bumps along the way, but we'll stay the course. The issues about the so-called ultimatum was in reference to the use of landmines, diba? The President made his statement very clear.
And do you expect more members of the NDF panel to be released?
Oh, we're working on the release of the first batch of CPP, NPA, and DF members who are needed in the negotiations and in the resumption. Since they have to be released on the basis of the judicial processes, we were able already to secure the release temporary of 3 of them from the Supreme Court's order. Those whose cases are not pending with the Supreme Court, naturally the Supreme Court cannot rule on them. So they had recommended that we thresh this out with the local regional trial courts where these cases are pending. And right now, our effort are now directed at dealing with the judicial processes in the local regional trial courts. And we're very hopeful that we could get them ready, best efforts for the August 22 formal opening.
Sir, but August 22, 20, diba, sir?
20 originally, pero may travel changes. So the last word we got was 22 would resumption. Yung 20 na yan, this will be the dates devoted to travel to Norway from the Philippines.
Sir, Dang Jumala Brajo ng Bayan. Balik lang po ako doon sa MNLF.
Yes, ma'am.
Sabi mo kanina po, the SEMA group is, the MNLF are willing to converge to other groups. What about Iswari, since nag-get in touch naman po sa kanila? May indication ba na ganun din po ang kanyang pananaw?
Pag-usapan pa nga namin, sabi ko, dahil mahirap naman sa telepono mag-discuss, no? Every time we talk with Chairman Ulvisor in the phone, it's just more of, how are you? Kumusta ka na dyan? And then, updating on where we are with his lawyer, because we have to deal with his lawyers, because this is something that his personal lawyer will have to pursue, addressing the legal status that he is in right now.
Sir,
But as far as the details of doon sa convergence, on the peace agreement, hindi pa kami nag-usap about it.
Sir, on the talks sa NPA, lately, sir, sabi po yung NPA na hindi daw sila mag-stop sa pag-use ng landmine. So, meron pong ultimatum yung ating presidente na i-withdraw niya yung usaping ito sa CPP kapag hindi po nag-reciprocate ang NPA. So ngayon may travel po kayo at sa August 22 po ang meeting. Ibig sabihin wala pong withdrawal of talks.
Bakit? May landmine ka ba bago pumutok? The President was very clear and unequivocal. He said, and may I say it clearly, if there is another landmine, I will call off the talks. So you take it out from there. Take it away from there. That's his last statement. We don't want to interpret it or assess it or even speculate on it.
Okay, Joey?
Joey,
Sir, good
in
afternoon.
red.
Yes, sir. Clarification, sir, with regards to the peace efforts of government with the MNLF and the MILF. What is its position with regards to other forces like the Bangsamoro Islamic Freedom Fighters and the Hussein?
Convergence ng peace agreements yun. Wala naman tayong peace agreement with the Abu Sayyaf. Wala naman tayong peace agreement with the BIFF. This will be a convergence and hopefully the coming together of already signed agreements.
Does it mean to say, sir, the military pursuit against these groups will continue?
Well, is there an order to otherwise? But the punitive action against those who violate the law continue. We call it from the police parlance, the LEO, law enforcement operations are ongoing against those who violate the law. So these are all ongoing.
Sir, Awit Kayon, first from the
Sir.
Bureau.
Itong sa Kuala Lumpur nga to launch sa enabling law, no?
No, the implementing stage,
Implementing stage.
which may result later on to the crafting of an enabling law.
So the bulk of the work after that launching will be determining asa dito sa CAB ang pwede ma-implement without, di ba na-fail man tong BBL, that's why it cannot be implemented. So
Yes,
this time
let's make it very clear. The BBL, which is an implementing mechanism of the CAB, been passed. In other words, there is no more pending bill that will approximate the implementation of the CAB. There is none already. Kasi pag expire na yung Congress that is handling it and did not pass it, pang to sufficient na yan, wala na yan. There is no more BBL to talk of. So now, we have already to restart and we plan on taking advantage of an existing mechanism in the CAB, which is called the Bangsamoro Transition Commission. That is composed of 15 members, 8 to be composed by MILF representatives, 7 to be appointed by government. Okay. So, if everything goes well, and it is acceptable in their convergence, that can very well be the mechanism to start off the groups to already come together to craft an enabling law. Okay. So, during our meeting with a while ago, the MNLF group indicated that they're willing even to be part of that BTC that government is going to appoint. The number will depend, however, on what will be the final number of that BTC. Because Kagi Murad, in my talks with him in Darapanan, had indicated that possibly we can discuss through our negotiating panels, implementing panels, the composition, whether we'd like to keep it at 15 or expand it some more, is something that can be discussed by the implementing panels.
That's one part katong composing the BTC to have an enabling law. Pero sa ubang areas na atong mga i-implement po ba ng mga provisions sa CAB na pwede na siya may implement. Or dito pa magkasentro pa sa kuwan.
Dito sa, we have to get that enabling law
Dito sa
to be passed so we can get it rolling already. But we'd like to review, to be very honest with you, we'd like to take a look at the CAB as it is. And in fact, we have already the MNLF 1996 peace agreement. Some of them can be implemented without an enabling law, di ba? So this had also been addressed in the armed law now, 9054. We'd like to take a look at the CAB. There might be some provisions there that may not have to wait for a law to be enacted.
Yung katong na statement ng OPA, the other day or yesterday about you were thinking about i-apply itong balik itong experience niyo sa Philippines Development Forum.
That is for the convergence of our donor partners. We have previously kasi the Philippine Development Forum,
2013?
which I don't know, I'm not familiar. During my time when I was still in government up to 2010, the Philippine Development Forum is the mechanism where all donor countries and institutions would meet and then ask government, what are your priorities? Because we would like to put in money and resources in your priority areas. In that PDF, they have devoted what we call as the Mindanao Working Group, which was just focused for Mindanao. Dahil they say kasi, Mindanao having been nakalimutan ng Diyos at na lagging behind in development, they need to do affirmative action and give more for Mindanao. So the Mindanao Working Group was operating before, and that is where we get pledges from foreign donors where they will put their resources to support the development of Mindanao. We'd like to reactivate that dahil naging moribund yan in the past few years.
May tawag itong Mindanao Trust Fund.
Mindanao Trust Fund is another thing. That was the fund that was put together by World Bank and other institutions to support the peace process. Iba din yun. So these are existing mechanisms that we're revisiting. Kasi may mga mechanisms yan, kung lang eh. Nandiyan na yan eh, patrabahuin na lang, activate them already. Just put on the light switch and it will light up. For a time, na-off yung switch.
Balikan lang ako sa
Yes, ma'am. Sige, ma'am.
Iyon ako daw sa mga leaders of action story niya, si Ulamin.
Si Mong. Ulamin.
Opo. Yun siya nga, gina-question niya ang involvement siya. Naipag-sariling interest ang siya because of the sabak. Kung saan yung business na gusto. Hindi pa involvement sa Malaysia sa BDF.
Bukang Malaysia, dakong tabang sa ato sa negotiation stage. Sila man ang nag-facilitator. So, you have to recognize the great contribution they had. That is, in fact, the very reason why we are launching the implementation stage in Kuala Lumpur in recognition of their contribution. But since, and this is very important, since they were involved in the negotiation stage, and the negotiation stage, we say, is over, we are now in the implementation, then the same arrangements may no longer apply. So we'd like to, when I meet with the Malaysian officials during the visit, I would like also to find out from them or even invite them to continuously be with us in the implementation stage, because we need possible resources, diba, to improve the lives of the Bangsamoro while we're working on the peace process path. In the same manner, Indonesia was also very helpful with the MNLF in the signing of the 1996 peace agreement. But I would like also to invite them to continue being around. The OIC, the Organization of Islamic Conference, because they are responsible for the convergence of the MN and MI. Remember, there's a unity joint statement already by both sides, even during my time pa. And all other partners, we have many foreign donors and foreign development partners na nandun sila sa negotiations stage. Nagkatanong sila ngayon, saan na kami ngayon? Wala na pala yung negotiations, tapos na, implementation na. So we'd like to invite them to also continue supporting us.
Sir, mayang hapon. Zaya po from Davao today. Sir, babalikan ko po yung usapin tungkol dun sa GPH.
Yes, ma'am.
So,
Sige.
opo. Regarding po sa ibang progressive groups, no, militant groups, they're saying na the release of the NDF consultants or yung mga political prisoners na sinasabi are vital to the resumption of the peace talks. Ano pong tingin nyo dun sa sinasabi nila na violation daw po sa JASIG and violation also to the previously signed agreements because JASIG was part of the agreement? Yun pong hindi matutuloy pa na pag-release ngayon ng iba pong consultants.
On your first premise, we agree that importanteng ma-release natin yung nire-request nila. But having said that, we have also to make it very clear, we cannot just spring them out of jail. We have to go through judicial procedures to be able to make them participate. Malaking bagay kasi na yung kanilang participants will be there. Remember, if we are going to go full blast in the negotiations, we need so many across the table because we would like to fast track. Pwede nga yung negotiations on agenda items like social, economic, political. Gusto namin kung pwede simultaneous ang meetings, hindi yung meeting muna dito, pagkatapos iba na naman. We'd like to do it simultaneous because we're looking at a shorter timeline. We're looking at a 1-year period to finish these best efforts, although we don't want to impose that. No, it's just a reference to us if you can work out parang best efforts to be able to come up with a final peace agreement. But as you know, in negotiations, takes two to tango, so you cannot really dictate the pace, but you can hurry it up. Yun, we'd like to see them released. Pero yung premise mo dun about the JASIG, let's make that very clear. Okay? We signed previously a joint agreement on safety and immunity guarantees called JASIG. Okay? The JASIG is a that will enable the release of NPA, CPP-NPA members who are needed in the negotiations. Even those who are facing arrest and are not taken in are immune from arrest for as long as they are participants in the peace process. But what was the mechanism in place at the time para maintindihan talaga ninyo? In order to determine, kasi pag may nahuli ka ngayon, sabihin nila, uy, covered dyan sila ng JASIG, kailangan sa peace talks. Anong pangalan? Paminsan alias ang ginagamit. So what do? We go back to the data bank of the JASIG where there are pictures there and we verify. Oh, si Commander Pedro, yung nahuli. Sabihin nila, oy, cover niya ng JASIG. Teka muna, buksan natin yung JASIG muna. Na bolt, tingnan natin. Baka, ang pangalan niya dun, hindi na Pedro, baka Juan na. Pero you can verify from the picture na siya yon. So there is a way of verifying. Unfortunately, in the past year or so, when they opened up the diskette that was deposited in a vault in The Hague as the repository of the JASIG data, the diskette was considered corrupted. You can no longer get data there and verify. So one of the agenda items now that we will take up in the forthcoming opening is actually precisely to discuss how to restore the data of the JASIG where we can no longer retrieve this valuable information so that we can handle them properly. Kung talagang covered sila ng JASIG, then i-release sila. Kung hindi, hindi. So ngayon, even when they say violation of the JASIG, how can that be a violation? We cannot even verify. So mukhang hindi lang siguro sila informed about the real information surrounding what happened to the JASIG.
Okay, last question, Ms. Carol. Please pass the mic to Ms. Carol, please.
Oh, Carol, I am not a fool.
Sir, in your roadmap, you said that the BTC, the Bangsamoro Transition Commission, will draft the enabling law, target date of July 2017.
Mahirap kasi maglagay ng timeline. Yung mga timeline, internal yan namin yan dahil you cannot compel all sides to a timeline. But best efforts, you know why we look at it as a milestone? Dahil we'd like to do it as soon as possible. as soon as possible, the finalization of that enabling the Congress baka mamaya enabling law for the Bangsamoro, and atin namang scenario is dapat mauna yan bago tayo mag-federalism. So, forget about that timeline. That's just a reference as to the milestones that we have to meet.
But you also have to meet that because there is an election in the
Oo nga.
ARMM, di ba?
Oo nga.
In 2019.
Yes.
There is no law that's passed. Yung BTC composition, 7 will be coming from the government.
8 for the MI.
Yes, yes.
15.
What is your, I mean, how will you divide, you want to be inclusive? For instance, you want the MNLF, the Moro groups in. But how will you divide the 7 to make sure that MNLF, for instance, and considering also that there are several MNLF?
Well taken, tama yung tanong mo, and I think it's in point. But if you will recall, when I met with Kagi Murad in Camp Tarapanan, one of the things we discussed, and I brought out, was the possibility, pwede ba natin sigurong ma-expand yung membership? Baka pwede. You know, the reply of Kagi Murad, sabi niya, that can be discussed by the implementing panels natin. In other words, she is not foreclosing the possibility that we may need more slots to be able to make it as inclusive as possible. So parang may flexibility dyan. You know, that is very significant dahil nang sinabi ko, baka pwede nating mapag-usapan ang expansion of the numbers. Then binawi ko agad, sabi ko, uy, taka muna, tapos na pala ang negotiation stage. So I will be renegotiating with you. Sabi niya, no, leave that to our implementing panels to talk about and discuss. So there's that possibility na baka ma-expand that for more inclusivity.
Okay, if there are no more questions, maybe ask Secretary Duresa to give his closing statement, sir.
Dami lang sinabi ko, hindi na pa closing. I now close. Oh, so I'm reopening. Huwag natin pag-usapan yan dahil nag-usap pa kami ni Presidente yan, hindi kami nag-usap ng ganun eh. I take my orders directly from him, not through newspaper reports, okay? Okay.
Okay, thank you very much, Secretary Duresa, and thank you everyone for coming to our press conference. Is there still food outside?
Day.
Nawala.